What's going on? This is Bobby Empath. First and foremost, I want to thank Rukus Avenue Radio and allowing myself and many others to speak the topic of mental health. One conversation can change your life, and one conversation can even save your life. I want to put out a small disclaimer, is that I am not a doctor, I am not a healthcare practitioner, I'm not a therapist, I'm just a person who is a voice when it comes to mental health. But as mentioned, the more conversations we have, the better we will be as a community. So I've decided to put together a series of topics, some small discussions, and the nature behind these discussions is to address matters that we might have experienced in the past or matters that we might even be going through at the moment. And the topic for today is toxic relationships. Now, what is a toxic relationship? A toxic relationship doesn't necessarily need to be between yourself and a romantic partner. It can be between yourself and a friend, a family member, your employer, anybody who is close to you. That's how toxic relationships are, that's how they're created. It all comes from being close to somebody. Now, what are some behaviors of toxic relationships? Have you ever been in a situation where the person that you're close with mocked you, put you down, belittled you, but at the same time, you guys are still close? That's a toxic relationship. Have you ever been in a situation where the person that you were so-called close with always saw things from their perspective? They didn't want to see things from your perspective. There's a lack of compromise. And at the end of the day, there really is a lack of compatibility. That's a toxic relationship. Abuse. Have you ever experienced abuse? Mental abuse is just as harmful as physical abuse. That's a big time toxic relationship. Emotional dependency. Have you ever came across a situation where an individual felt that without them in your life, you're nothing? That is a big sign of toxic relationships. But I'm naming all of these negative behaviors, but what defines a toxic relationship at the end of the day? Because I know many people out there are saying, I don't tolerate this, I don't tolerate negative, vibes, I don't tolerate people like this, which is great. But at the end of the day, what makes a situation toxic is that after all this negativity, you still love this person. And that's what hurts the most about a toxic relationship, is that there can be a level of emotional dependency when it comes to this other individual. You have a choice to make. I'm a firm believer that most people are good people, but not everybody is for you. That said, anybody who is close to you should respect who you are, respect your boundaries, and find a compromise. But if you can't find that resolution, the best step to take is detachment. Now, detachment sucks. When you detach from somebody that you're close with, you might even be more hurt than where you were before. You just have to fight through it, move along with it, be fluid with it. But one thing that I can promise you when it comes to detachment is that when you detach from a toxic situation, the grass is far greener on the other side. You have to give it time, you have to be patient, and you have to trust the process. So that's how you cope with toxic relationships at the end of the day. Also, don't be bitter when it comes to past toxic relationships. Always appreciate the good. Even though this person is no longer in your life, if you decide to detach, keep them in your heart, thank them for the lessons, and move on. Anyways, that's all I have to talk about when it comes to toxic relationships. There's probably so much more to talk about. But at the end of the day, I'm an open ear for mental health, and I'm here to help you out if you need someone to talk to. Anywho, have a great day and stay positive.
Rukus Avenue Radio.